Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Generative Way, making AI your muse. According to McKinsey, less than 1 in 10 users are getting any measurable results from AI. The reason is simple, they're using AI wrong. When I was young, I wanted to be an artist like Picasso. I loved drawing, I was good, maybe a bit slow. Sometimes I wonder, maybe I was born too early, because today AI might be the muse I needed to produce art better, faster, and easier. It also might be the example that helped you learn how to use AI more effectively. Picasso was looking for inspiration everywhere. Muses helped him a lot. He'd sit in his studio, brush in hand, but before taking a single stroke, he'd often ask one of his muses, "What am I not seeing? What else could this be? Is this the right place to start, or just the easiest?" His muse didn't paint for him. She challenged him, reframed the problem, unlocked new directions. Today, we all have access to a muse, not a mythical muse, but a digital muse called AI. The good news is you don't have to haunt Paris or beg for divine inspiration anymore. Now anyone can have a muse that never sleeps, never gets tired, and unlike Picasso's, won't leave you for your local art dealer. Hi, I'm Bryan Cassady. I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. I started 11 companies in 6 countries and have 8 exits along the way. I'm now a keynote and a teacher on a mission to train 1 million innovators. I'd like to help you learn to use AI more effectively like a muse. Let me tell you my story with AI. A couple years back, I wrote a book called Cycles. It was research-based and brought together 22 experts. In my humble opinion, it was a great book. Cycles was going to be the go-to book for companies that wanted to innovate faster while reducing risks. It won a few awards, and we're ready for champagne and celebration. And then ChatGPT arrived. Everybody was talking about AI, and AI wasn't even in the index of my book. It felt a bit like opening the most beautiful video rental store right after Netflix launched. I needed to fix things. Suddenly, my job was to get humble, fast, and start learning all over again about this thing called AI. Like an over-caffeinated entrepreneur, I went back to school again. I took classes, I dove into research, and poked around inside companies. Don't worry, they invited me in to ask one simple question. What really happens when you drop AI into a team trying to innovate? It's not always what you expect. So I started writing up these ideas in my new book, The Generative Organization, an AI playbook backed with facts, written by 36 international experts. What I discovered along the way is the future of business is generative. Generative is a word that means different things to different people. And when I say generative, it's any system whose core function is to create novel outputs rather than merely select, retrieve, or replicate existing ones. It's about creating systems with AI and humans working together, building better solutions. The problem is most people are not working well with AI. One of the most important studies I've done was on idea generation with AI. We generated 5,402 ideas with humans and AI for the same innovation challenge. Now, what did we find out? Well, AI builds more ideas, no surprise there. Where you might be surprised is it also builds better ideas. Now, the reality is nobody wants or needs 5,000 ideas, so we decided to look at the best ideas. We looked at all the idea generation methods and the number in the top 5%. And here are the key results. Measuring top ideas per 100 generated. Human beings working alone generated 1.4 top ideas per 100 on average. With the support of ChatGPT, this increased to 2.3 ideas per 100. That's a 50% increase in good ideas per 100. A good step in the right direction, and quite similar to the studies we've seen where AI is adding a 40% increase in terms of productivity. But where things get interesting is when you add smart usage of AI, combining method expertise and different idea building methods. Here the results are dramatically different. Using tools like Triz, results increase all the way to 7.5 top ideas per 100. That's 5 times higher than humans working alone. And let me repeat, that is 5 times higher in terms of frequency, not 5 times more ideas. So, based on this, I expected to see great things in companies. There's enormous potential, but very few were actually seeing real results. Now, the reason for this is there's some predictable ways that we use AI wrong. There are well-known behavioral issues that lead human beings to do things wrong again and again, and we do the same thing with AI. First, there's overconfidence bias. We trust AI too much. When it sounds confident, and it usually does, we accept what it says. Sounding smart is not the same as being right. There's cognitive offloading. When somebody else is in the car with us and thinking about directions, we stop thinking about where we need to go. When somebody else is thinking for us like AI, we rely on AI. We say it's okay to turn our brains off. Instead of iterating, people settle, especially when they're under time pressure. And in every part of our lives, there's a third bias, which is called confirmation bias. We tend to see what we want to see. With AI, too often we prompt until it gives us something we agree with, or we have said. We simply interpret the answers the way we want to. That's not working together. That's working alone. This all boils down to one sentence: satisficing and stopping thinking. Let's be honest, most professionals use AI like a fancy search engine. They write better emails, make faster slides, then they move on. People are using AI and seldom really working with it. But some people get more. They are hesitant to put too much faith in AI. They keep their brains on. They don't see AI as all-knowing, AI as a replacement. They ask AI for answers, but more importantly, they use AI for inspiration. As a creative partner, they work with AI to find answers. They go from seeing AI as an oracle to the Muse as a creative partner. Too many people are on the search for the magic bullets, the tools that make everything easier, secret prompts. What people really need is sparks, insights on how to work differently with AI. Why? And this is important. So regardless of the tool you're using, you'll always get better results. I love the word sparks because sparks of insight are closely tied to innovation success. I'd like to use this word to help you see how you can work differently with AI. And just like back in school, each letter stands for an important principle. Let's go through them one by one. We're going to use Picasso as an example. S is for speaking things out, to get into the flow. Picasso spoke to his muse. He didn't write a memo because it was better to talk. You can try to do the same with AI. Instead of typing your prompt, talk to AI out loud. The reason is simple. Is we think different and usually better when we talk. Talking is not a gimmick. It's a way to get in the flow. Picasso's most expensive painting ever was the Femme d'Alger. He created 15 paintings in the series. It all started with this classic painting, The Woman of Algiers, at the Louvre, painted by Francois Guillot. I can imagine a conversation he might have. He would go to the Louvre at least once a month. He might have said something like this: I keep thinking about that Dame Delacroix painting, Woman of Algiers, all cushions, curves, and quiet secrets. They're too perfect, too finished, like a stage play, everything in place, everyone behaving. I want them alive. I want them to break the curtain. No more idealized harem fantasies. What happens after the smoke? When they stand, laugh, scream, and collapse. Their elegance must unravel. The curves cut them, the bodies flatten them, explode them. No more gaze, just presence, chaos, the raw power of bodies twisted. And God, I want color. Oh God, I want color, not these muted and safe browns. Imagine he said all that. What would you do with it? You can use AI to summarize your thoughts. And you can write a prompt, something like this: help me organize my thoughts, and write a prompt to make these changes. AI is great at interpreting what you say to find meaning. Sometimes it's spot on, sometimes not. Here's the prompt I gave it. It gave me when it asked this question. This is AI's writing. It's not something I've edited. Create a painting that begins with a classical scene of stillness and beauty. A room of reclining figures richly adorned like Delacroix's Woman of Algiers. Now destroy it. Fragment the bodies. Twist the angles. Let the background swallow the foreground. Use violent color, red, black, ochre, decay green. Replace elegance with energy, symmetry with struggle, sensuality with chaos. It must still be human. It must be reverent, but it must wrestle with the past. Make the painting feel like it just survived an explosion and is alive. Now, when I look at that, I think it's amazing that AI can write that. I think it's pretty good. I'd like you to see it in action. I gave it this prompt, and I gave it the input. And we have here a painting created by AI and the first painting in the series by Picasso. One sold for 32 million. The other is not even worth 32 cents. What I'd like you to do is think for just a second, A or is it B? Which of these? And my guess is about half of you will get it wrong. And that means it's just a game of chance. The answer is A. That is the Picasso. Did you get it right? If you did, great. If you didn't, don't worry too much about it. My first message to you is simple. Talk with AI to get your thoughts flowing. If it can help Picasso do a painting that you can't tell the difference between, it's pretty good. Let AI figure out what you're saying and then use that to move forward. In practice, one founder I worked with built a pitch using voice only. She said, when I speak, I find the heart of my story faster. She used AI like a sounding board, refining the pitch over 3 rounds. Talking, talking, and talking. Because when she talked, the pitch sounded like her. There's even a cool tool called Whisper Ring, a voice AI device you can whisper into. You can talk while you're walking, while you're cooking, while you're thinking. Keep on speaking with AI. P is for pivoting roles, because questions are often better than answers. Picasso didn't always paint in the same way. Sometimes it was cubist, sometimes classical, sometimes childlike, and sometimes he didn't even know. A good starting point was often a talk before he started. His favorite way was to have his muse ask him questions. You can do the same with AI. This can be as simple as telling AI what you're working on and asking AI to ask you questions before starting. Go have a talk with AI. Here's a talk Picasso might have had with a muse or AI. AI asks, what are you really trying to accomplish with this series? Tribute, rebellion, reinvention, or something else? Picasso, a tribute. What are you paying tribute to? Delacroix's subject, his technique, the Orientalist fantasy, the composition, or are you honoring the feeling the painting evokes in you? I like the feeling, so I can distill the essence. How are you working towards that essence? Are you iterating visually, sketches, color studies, talking out loud, reading, walking, collecting reference images? Nah, I don't do all that. I'm tearing things apart, just trying to see things from another way. When you're done answering AI's questions, you can ask a question like this one. Based on our conversation, create a new prompt to create a new version of my first prompt. Here's the prompt that came out of this talk. Using Delacroix's Woman of Algiers as a starting point, create a visual tribute that distills the emotional essence, not the literal forms. Break the scene apart. Women are caught mid-action, laughing, shouting, collapsing, twisting, their elegance unraveling. The harem fantasy is gone. Instead, there's raw, lived emotion, chaos and presence. Fragment the composition, let bodies overlap, distort, and collide. Use bold, clashing, and surprising colors. Abandon the safe browns for reds, blues, and colors that feel electric. Let the space be unsettled. Perspective shattered. Background torn apart. Capture the mood and intensity, not the details. This is cubist and experimental, a process of tearing down to reveal pure feeling and transformation. Here are 2 follow-up images. The inspiration is on the far left. Painting number 1 is A. Painting number 2 is B. Which one is the real Picasso? Take a second. Let's see if you get it right. And this time, I'm betting you won't. How do I know you didn't get it right? Because it was a trick question. Neither one was a Picasso. But my bet is you thought one of them could be. That's the important thing. Letting AI ask you questions is a powerful way to get more out of AI. Before letting AI get started, let it ask you a few questions. If you want an eye-opening talk with AI, try this. I'd like your help figuring out how AI can help us best support this project. Of course, you'll have to explain the project. Ask me a few questions, one at a time, about my goals, my current processes and constraints, until you have enough context to give a few obvious and non-obvious AI recommendations. The conversation will be enlightening. You'll think of new questions that you've never even thought of asking. And the recommendations, I will be very surprised if you're not amazed. Give it a shot. You'll be different. The next letter in our acronym is A. A is about asking for more, because the first answer is only the starting line. Picasso had a famous work ethic. He kept trying and improving all the time. I don't think he ever asked his muse to do work for him. But you have a muse, you can ask for more. You could even ask it to do work for you. And each time you ask, it will give you another output. Picasso's most expensive artwork was La Femme d'Anjou. This was his 15th and final try in the series. Maybe it was perfect, but he could have kept on going with a prompt like this one. Create 3 more versions of this painting. One is primitivism, one is like Matisse, and one might be as a bug would see it with kaleidoscope eyes. Now, what are these? Are they better? Are they worse? I think they're fun at least, and they're inspirational, and I like the one with bug eyes. What do you think? What's cool here is AI is the muse that will never get tired. The number of options you could ask for are virtually unlimited. Often we accept the first answer AI gives us. If you want better ideas, don't accept the first answer ever, unless it's amazing. In practice, we worked with a retail innovation team. They wanted to design a new loyalty program. They worked with AI. AI gave them the obvious stuff, points, rewards, blah, blah, blah. Then they asked, give us 10 more ideas. Not obvious like the first ones. A little bit better. Then they changed things around. They asked, give us ideas based on regret, not reward. That unlocked something new, a campaign where customers saw what they missed by not buying. Conversion soared. The magic wasn't in the model, wasn't in the AI. It was in the insistence, the request for more, stranger, and better. R is for reframing, because new angles reveal hidden gold. Picasso didn't ask, what should I paint? He asked, could I show this from another angle? He was constantly reframing, asking new questions. You can and should use AI to reframe how you're asking your questions. In a study we ran on idea generation, we found that the strongest predictor of the number and quality of ideas is the number of ways we ask a question. Why? If you keep asking the question the same way, you run out of ideas. Even AI gets tired. Even human beings get tired. When you ask your question in a different way, you get different answers. A suggestion for you is try to use the words HMW. What are HMW? It's an acronym about how might we. This simple acronym will change the way that you think and work with AI. It'll also change the way you work with your colleagues. We had a hospital and asked, how could we speed up discharge? We reframed the question. How might we make home safer? How might we make home faster? How might we make this joyful instead of tolerable? Could I? How might we? Flips the canvas, flips the script. The results in this case were remote care options that reduced the cost of stay by 22%. Each time you ask AI to look from a new perspective, you get new ideas. Change your questions, and you'll change your answers. K is for keep going. Challenge what you do, because AI can do a lot more. Great ideas don't land in one shot. Too often we give up, excited by the first results. In social science, this is what Herbert Simon calls satisficing. A definition of creativity I love comes from Jeremy Utley's book, From a 7-Year-Old Child. He said, creativity is doing more than the first thing we thought of. Keep on going and you will do more than the first thing you thought of. Keep asking, what did I miss? What are we missing? How can I see things different? Picasso might ask a question like this. Please evaluate this painting. Give me 3 ideas for versions that better express these women's beauty and the painter's viewing's longing. Give detailed comments and ideas and provide ideas one by one. Here's an idea that came out. We'll call it the mosaic of desire, a romantic, cubist approach. Maintain the cubist structure, but soften the palette and introduce visual metaphors for yearning to allow the viewer to feel emotional connection, not just artistic admiration. The question you need to ask, does this look like a Picasso? If it does, the Muse is doing impressive things, and this is done in minutes, not in weeks. With AI pretty good, it's now available to everyone. Remember how hard it was to pick out the Picassos earlier? But exceptional still takes sweat, yours and the machine's. You need volume, you need variation, you need to wade through a few terrible ideas. The rules of creativity haven't changed. More ideas lead to better ideas. In my work, great companies are always looking to go forward one step. Here are a few examples. Moderna uses similar iterative group in their AI models to improve RNA design. Every round, better results, faster breakthroughs. One team we coach used this process to rewrite their entire product strategy. They had AI create, critique, then rewrite its output until it was bulletproof. Keep going. Good enough is never enough. Last, there's S for strategic pauses, because insight, wisdom lives in the pause, not in the rush. Picasso stepped back. He looked, he reflected, then painted again. You should too. You need to put in strategic pauses. After 10 prompts, don't keep going. Stop. Ask, what did I learn? What changed in how I see the problem? What should I do next? That pause, that moment of insight is where the real value happens. A study by the Economist Intelligence Unit of 312 companies showed that companies with strategic pauses sold 40% more and earned 52% higher profits. Can you think of a stronger reason to stop and think? Moving forward, you know sparks. You want to unlock the potential of artificial intelligence. You need to shift your mindset from simply using AI to actively working with it. This involves a new kind of partnership built on a few key principles. Teaming up with AI. You don't use your team members, you work with your team members. You don't use AI, you work with AI. You need to be patient. Your new teammate will try anything you ask. Sometimes it will fail. You need to be patient, and you need to give feedback and learn from each other. Collaboration is a two-way street. Teach it what you want. Have it teach you. When you work together, you will learn together. So when people ask me, can we really change the way people work with AI? I don't show them a research paper. I tell them about my mom. My mom is 82 years young. I can't use the word old. Her and my dad just got back from a trip to Europe. They were jet-lagged, cranky and hungry. I talked probably a bit too much about AI when they were here. My mom called and said, Bryan, we just got home, we're starving, too tired to go out, no food. Can your AI thingy help with that? Expecting, of course, I'd say no. I asked Mom, what's in the fridge? She replied, I don't even know. Half a zucchini, some wrinkly cherry tomatoes, a lemon, maybe some garlic. I told her, take a picture, then talk with AI about what you'd like. She tried and then said something that made me smile. I would have never thought of that. That AI stuff works. AI came back with roasted tomato zucchini pasta with lemon garlic oil. 15 minutes later, she was plating it like a Food Network star. If my mom can work with AI, so can you. Let's go back to Picasso for a minute. You could ask, would Picasso have used AI? Maybe you doubt. He was proud, but I have no doubts he would have used it. But he wouldn't see AI as an oracle. He would see it as a muse. He would see it as a tool. He would ask it to challenge him, confuse him, surprise him. And when it gave a weird answer, he wouldn't walk away. He'd ask for 10 more. That's what we get to do now. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to be a code expert. You just need to stop using AI and start working with AI. Be curious. Ask better questions. Keep thinking. With AI, everyone has a muse. Will you use yours? We'd like to help you make AI your muse. We offer keynotes, workshops, sprints, and great learn by doing programs. And our book, The Generative Organization, which is now a bestseller in all the Amazon markets. I'd like to end this talk with a challenge for you. It's easy to click to the next video or post. It's easy to walk to the next session. Instead, take a minute to start using Sparks now. Record some thoughts about this talk. Take your phone out. Go stream of conscious, just talk. Then ask ChatGPT to summarize your thoughts and make up a LinkedIn post. You'll be amazed what comes out. Use some of the tools here, make a post. If you tag me and your post makes me smile, you have an opportunity to win a 1-hour talk or a keynote at your company. I have a hint for you. If you tell me a story about your mom or your grandma, you're almost certain to win. Now, it's easy to end this talk and just get back to your work today. Today is the time to do something different. Take an action with what you've just learned. Take a screenshot of this, print it out, put it on your desk. Schedule a time to try each of these methods, but try each one. Most importantly, do something today. When you start doing something today and working different with AI today, AI will become your teammate. It will help you move faster, better than you could have ever imagined. Thank you very much.